Whole time, apologies, this is part two. All right. This is not your mama's Bible study. We going in. All right. We want to know. All right. So again, this is the main reason why I feel like they have been able to press on the American and treat American so-called black women the way that these people have been able to do for a very long time. Now, remember, they sent these missionaries and things over to the people prior to there ever being a church, prior to there being a Bible, right? And they had, like, what was it, the bishop's Bible, where they would read and profess the way that they wanted you to perceive, what was being, said in the book. All right. That's what blocked out your, what they might even call a demon. Okay. Because a demon is some type of like a genius energy that you're born with, right? That you're indoctrinated by education and through the church, most of them out of when you start to commingle with those things. And that's why they try to get you in there in Sunday school as soon as damn possible. And it just feels like to me, right, that it was a major thing about, I was praying to God when I was young. Why? Why do I feel bad? Why do I feel bad about going to church? I don't like that place. You know, I'll go there because I like being with my grandma, but what is it about this place? Why do I feel bad because, you know, I'm not wanting to go there. Okay. And that scripture came up to me about, you know, that there were going to be some that were going to be set apart. Okay. It's like this, that many are called, but this gate is narrow. We look at the church. There's so many churches, so much money that goes into churches and all these institutions around the world. But at the same time, the world has been going to shams. So you have to wonder. That's why I like to go back to the root of things. We can't keep rebuilding after these resets on faulty, cracked up, banged up foundation because people feel like they have that they continuously serve those materialistic and financial and these traditional things that actually are killing fucking freedom. You know, it's just like over and over again. We keep building on that type of foundation instead of clearing up things and doing it the right way. And I feel like this is just where we at today. Right? I put not up to the church, been set apart. I'm trying to find in the biblical text where it even say anything about communion. Okay. Now it's saying about the blood of Christ in the bread, right? But I know that that's a more ritualistic thing that's happening, and I don't feel like that's actually happening. I feel like the world is set up to stop that from happening between this emperor, this empress, and her emperor. They want to make it seem like even if it's a telepathic communication, that it is something else because there is possibly, you know, whatever work they're doing with this masculine, you know what I'm saying, that it's just a very, I don't want to go too deep into it because it's a very tricky situation with these people already tagging you and knowing who you were since birth and pulling out very crafty things under the table, right? Altering and into individuals' mentality. Also, sometimes swapping. Like if you really take a look at pictures of you and your family going throughout your life, you're gonna see that some of these motherfuckers is not with you anymore. Something is not right. Something is not right. Even with some of us, the way you look is something is not right. Is all we just gonna say. Again, how could somebody, I'm thinking, how could somebody be set and it be shown and it be noticed now? All eyes on the motherfucker now. So again, it's almost like the feminine energy didn't take the bait. She didn't take the apple, okay? Or the so-called apple. It don't never say apple, but again, the fruit or whatever. All right? And they're trying to make somebody being punished or be demoted anyway. They've been holding out something strong, right? Stripping me of everything that used to be joyful or everything that would make me be able to supposedly compare to people that don't, that it's almost like compete where you don't compare. All right. So again, they're making it more about how many followers you have, how many views you have, while restricting the real. Okay. So that they can suck off that energy, so they can use it to feed the flock, so that they can then make the flock fight against the empress for her spot. It's just so backwards, and it just don't make no sense. right? So this is like, again, Moshe and them making these ridiculous laws for the real Hebrews that they can't even, and I feel like this is under the moon, right? Okay. In order to tear them down or make them feel like they can't do something right, or they can't get, or they can't, or they have to compare with what man wants them to compare with instead of working on yourself. Yeah, you got them nice clothes, but what the fuck about your soul? You see what I'm saying? And don't tell me that I'm me myself, right? And I, right? And so again, at the end of the day, people want to talk about how I talk or that I might curse or something like that. The real curses we're talking about is these crafty things that they're coming up with behind the scenes and in the dark in order to create laws and lies in order to block you from, I guess even wanting to look at yourself in the mirror. It make you feel like you're not worthy of anything, right? And they can't do that to somebody like me. You can't do that because I know what I'm dealing with on the inside. All right. And I haven't let what people are doing to me outwardly affect that. Again, for somebody like me to be set on this pedestal, okay, and having everybody, including probably the one that put me up there, try to tear me down now because they're afraid, right, of what may actually come from this. Maybe some real change that we've been promised several times over and over again, and it never have come. And I'm thinking, again, unless it's something that I don't know, we talk about things that are seen and unseen, right? So the way it seemed like me is I'm thinking, well, what has blinded or binded me? Well, damn, could it be this church? Could it be these people's secret communion with me that I'm not aware of that has been blinding me, right? But also offering up whatever it is of me to these people in order to take out and pretend to or give to someone else so they can go out and try to be me. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm saying. It's just something strange that's going on here. All right. So it says here, I haven't been taking communion, but I've been, communing with God all my life, even in their so-called death. And this is the thing. I feel like, they feel like it's supposed to be a two-way street, but they've made it so that they can feed off of you, but you don't know nothing about what you're getting affiliated with. So they're just taking what you're saying and trying to stuff you into these pockets and stuff with these different secret societies and these groups and shit like this. When again, they're doing it in secret because they don't want you to know, because then they don't want you to commune that to source and be able to manufacturally pinpoint who, what, when, and where. That's why there's so much confusion. And again, when I go within, there's no confusion there. They know that somebody like me will not be affiliated with some of these groups and these churches and these organizations and things like this. And this is why they can't come to me. So they build a bitch that's almost like me or try to make her like me, probably even try to change the DNA so that they can deal with that person and place that person on high and make the empress feel like she ain't shit. Succubus, crooks. All right? Liars and crooks. Manipulators. Traitors. They don't want you to, they talk about inflation. They don't want you to be pumped up about who you are just so that you can't stand in your full power and potential, while they sit there and look at you all day knowing exactly who you are. They need you or to be in contact or touch with you or surveil you all day long, right? So they can learn the language. Learning the language, if you really think about that in the biblical text and look at it when we're talking about etymology, they were just basically sending people in there to stalk you and imitate you and learn how you work so they can try to become you. And then take them into the Build-A-Bitch workshop, buy them a couple wigs, some hair, some eyelashes and shit like that, and put them on some pedestal in front of the community, and then tank you by showing things that like your nature of things that people normally do, right? Like maybe on the toilet, or you doing this or doing whatever you're doing, right? And they want to show the world these things, or when you get upset and you talk amongst people or amongst yourself in your home. You see what I'm saying? They want to find any little thing, right? Whole time they're breadcrumbing you, right? But source is sitting in you, laughing at everything that they do. But they want to turn that eye on you so that everybody can kind of look at you, and if they don't live their life or it don't fit with the narrative and the construct of what's the construct of what society is, then you're not holy, right? And so that's why they have Israel and then the Holy One of Israel. They may be dealing with Israel, but they're trying to demote, okay, and degrade the Holy One, or by going into your past or going into here and there. They want to go into your deepest thoughts, things that you might have thought about in anger or bits of anger, but you never would actually do those things. They want to have free access to the empress, right? But they don't want to feed. That's the same thing with God, right? They want to have access, but they don't want to. They're still worshiping Satan. Because these are people that say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And so you could sit there and say, oh, well, this is Lutheran, this is Catholic, this is, but again, what is it? Is it the same God or not? You see what I'm saying? So again, everybody's gateway drug out of being affiliated with something or just being real about something is these different little pockets and these different little, groups that have been created or names for churches and things like that. I mean, is it separating you or is it still the same? Are you still worshiping the same God or not? Why so many little rules? So then if all these people over here in this church is following these rules and then who's right and who's wrong? That's why I don't worry about that. It's too much confusion. It's too much confusion. I go to source. I go to God and the ancestors. I want to go to those that have some type of wisdom or some type of something here. All right. And then, and again, I don't think that they would be able to have access with me right now if they weren't coming particularly correct. I feel like it's the sorcerers, the warlocks, and all these other people in these groups that have been coming up against. Again, I know that we are all one. I know that they have used division in order to divide and conquer nations in the world. I use these terms that they have given to separate because that's just what the people know. Is how long would it take? It took so long for them to brainwash us to this damn point. How long do you think it's going to take for us to come back to? It's been taking them 2 years to try to tear me down as the empress. How long do you think it's going to take? And then again, this is what I'm saying. That's how long the judgment is going to be for these people that think they didn't got away with this, what they got away with, murder or whatever it would be. It's like almost like an eye for an eye, right? But then it's like thou shalt not kill, right? But these people have come in and killed people or cold people, okay? Whether we're talking about through some type of paper genocide or otherwise. But when it's towards that anointed one, it's for everyone's demise. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know. It's saying that this communion is exchange of thoughts or deep thoughts, something mental and spiritual. But I put warfare because I feel like this is a tactic here that they've been using to create warfare. This is sorcery here. Okay? Because again, that's why I told y'all it's a feeling of all these people know everything about me. They want to gain access to me, but I don't have no access. I don't even know who I'm dealing with. It could be anybody. That's why I don't engage. I had to sit there and look at the red and black robes that these people wear, okay? And that cross, which is idolatry. That is an idol. Worshiping a cross or having that cross, that is idolatry. Again, why are they covering up their head with those little hats? So that's what make me wondering about even, also just like us or me in general. I like to wear wigs and stuff like that. So like I said, I don't have nothing against those things that I said something about, but it's just like I'm noticing that also I need to let it breathe too sometimes, and especially when I go out in the sun, I like to maybe take it off. Because I'm just thinking, it's not like I'm trying to cover up my head, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying why these traditional things of head coverings? Why is this dark shadow coming over? Why is America being flooded? Why is the darkness coming in? What does the moon have to do with that? When it comes back to the Carolinas, okay? And then old world, I mean, when it comes to colonization, okay? It just makes me wonder what. Because again, if you go to South America, it's all about the sun, all about the soul. But if I watch the movements of these people over time, you know what I'm saying? Like the Carolinas and stuff like that. And then the whole energy with Barbados and all these other people coming in, and then it turned to that moon or that crescent energy. So there's something here. Okay. There's something here to it now. Again, because the sun was supposed to be the brighter light. Okay. And then the lesser light. Okay. Was the moon. But I feel like that's what they're trying to do, reverse, or either turn the sun into the moon or whatever they're doing. It's all over the place. What the hell they doing. Okay. But this communion, it seems like it's been one-sided all this time. It does not give back to the originally American peoples or women or womb. It actually, and it doesn't even profess it with their mouth, because in media, in neighborhoods, in movies, in music for a long time, and that's why I feel like judgment was called. These people were not honoring these women. They were taking from the wombs and taking from the blood and taking from of these women. These true descendants of the American gods, and never giving back, never replenishing. And I think that is the order of things. We give love, we are love, we give love. So a lot of times it's an overflowing kind of energy. So you don't realize when you're not getting it back in the right way. You may be having a couple of your needs met, but you're not getting it back. And if you think about it, with a lot of these polygamy and a lot of these groups that want several wives and all this other and little children, it's still it's saying that the woman is not good enough. In some of these groups, then they have secret things where they have these men come in and dance for them dressed as women, and they leave the women at home, and they say, oh, because they're prized possession. But no, but then you end up worshiping what? Not the woman. She's treated like a commodity or somebody. Somebody said the other day, like, how did you grow up? Did your mom raise you to be, a at-home mom, or raise you to be something like this or whatever? Or like, what does a man expect from a woman or whatever, at home? And it's the same thing. Cook and cook. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. See, a lot of people want to act all kingly and stately and shit like that, but actually they're not even providing the things for the woman to have in order to do the things. And then they say, oh, look how bad of a person, look how bad of a mother, look what she's feeding the child. Well, you're the whole man here. Why are people coming at the empress when she's doing exactly what she's supposed to be doing, and the masculine is trying to degrade or deprive her of things that she's supposed to have to be able to operate and function in a real home? And excuse me, and then get mad because one of his homies or something that he set to watch over her, okay, or one of his disciples or whatever it would be, okay, that he set to set up might feel some kind of way and actually want to give those things to her, and then she's looked at as some kind of whore or something like this. Come on now, come on, because this woman is going to be set apart, and ain't nobody going to be able to seep through. Ain't nobody gonna really be able to seep through and tap into her energy if they aren't real. They're not gonna be able to get into her energy, and so I feel like this whole thing about was trying to make somebody unsure of the masculine that was coming in, right, as that savior energy. Also, to make it unsure or unstable as to what's going on with the actual physical masculine here. But I'm saying it may not be a woman. This person may be just being pulled in a direction to do things like these archbishops and these people in power would want them to do. Okay. I remember when it first started happening, when the masculine around here was not buying food and stuff. Like everything was period. Like we did everything all the way, right? And then I noticed when he stopped, it was somebody a couple people in like politics I noticed were wearing these hats talking about end hunger. Now they were talking about political things, but they were saying end hunger. So that's just a way of, I seen that's a way of the administration saying, okay, we will allow this, and this is what I'm saying about mental and physical and mental and psychological warfare, right? I knew right then that this was not this person's intentions, possibly, that this is a higher ups using sorcery or spell work in order to get this man to, and that's the thing. And then it's also to push me out of the house, to have to go work, right? Okay, when I'm still raising a child, okay? Which is fine with me if it's if that's what I would like to do. But I was also building businesses at home so I can do that from home too. So then they put a squeeze on that. You see? All right? So that then they can have access to, okay, to push you out of the home, then I feel like that's also to have access to you and have you around a lot of people that you don't need to be around as the Empress. The Empress is not supposed to be, and she's going to enjoy solitude and being on her and being in her own space, actually. She don't have to be all up in everybody's face. Just because somebody want to be in your face don't mean you got to be in their motherfucking face. Then they want to deem you, oh, the person don't come out of the house. Look, they must be depressed. No, motherfucker, depressed away. Separate. Because I see. And then this gives for them to say, well, let's figure out a way. Well, after this amount of time, then they can send Satan in, like it said in the biblical text, right? If a man and woman is not being active, but the woman is supposed to bow down and she's been doing everything to the best of her knowledge, right? Or the best of her best abilities of what she has, to do. And then it's to make her feel, if she can sense, right? If you a seer and if you somebody that knows, right? Something is not right. There's either an organization or another person, that's holding on to this energy. If I intertwine with this, that may contaminate me. Even being a healer and knowing you can heal, there's some things that you just don't want to get wrapped up into. Especially when so many people are doing things behind your back and these are things that you can't see. So then they say, oh, well, we're going to discredit her and we're going to get somebody else in here to do the job. And they're all sinners. They're all devils. They're all wicked. They're all Satanists. They're all disgusting. They're all disgusting. And that is what's going to lead to the Empress being that one motherfucker that's going to rule. Because there's nobody that want to set in front of her or beside her or whatever it would be. She knows her true power, right? Just like she knows a true emperor when he comes into her presence, and she will there's no force about it. She's going to automatically bow down. But it says something about, their communication with the dead being palpable. Okay. And then I was thinking about, I looked up that word and it said something about like a soft touch or a sense or something like this. Okay. They want to send illusions in to make it seem like the feminine energy has been defiled. But again, if you're that Godhead on earth, you're going to be dealing with different beings telepathically. You're going to deal with all kind of demons, whatever. You're going to deal with all those energies. Nobody can look at what I do for who the fuck I am. You see? All right? Yeah, so I'm going to go and later on we're going to pull up a couple of things about communion in the Bible and see where I want to see if it actually uses this word in the Bible, right? Or is it just talking about, using it in reference to, because then we have to go back to in reference of what it is. Why are we even using that word then? So I just want to go back again, like I said, okay? Yeah, because people are more worried about, again, these particular things, right? Which we've talked about. There's nothing here that we have not talked about. So anybody talking about I watch people to get information from them and whatever the fuck, no. The thing is they're rebuttaling my own thoughts. You see what I'm saying? It's my thoughts. Those are my thoughts that these people have been hijacking and breaking into and sharing with the world. And I'm rebuttaling them. The shit is already in me. What are you talking about? I am the word. I am the way. I am the light. Is my motherfucking blood. What are you talking about? Just like that, the damn cracker is idolatry. The wine is idolatry because we know good and damn well that's not what we're talking about. While the real people are feeding off of the true blood and wine and the true bread in the dark. And they feed you something in the likeness of it, like they're showing you something in the likeness of God. But they know not what they do. And I guess the rest will be to be continued. So I don't know. I mean, you guys can add something if you like at the bottom here. All right, because it's not about perfection, right? It's almost like my sheep hear my voice. It's degrading. Who on this earth is thinking that they're demoting an empress? Who? Nobody. And this Christ energy is supposed to be reigning forever. So, I don't know. Again, obviously, these people think they know me. I don't know them. It's not important for me to know them, actually. But I think Source brings and shows me one of my enemies or somebody that's trying a snake in the grass, and goes ahead and gives me about my bow and arrow so I can go ahead and shoot them out the box or knock them out the box and go on about my damn business. But these people won't stop. They won't stop. How did Solomon lose his wisdom or her wisdom? How? A very strong demon. It's even making me think about Asmodeus being that three-headed also kind of energy. All right, that cock blocker. That's what Asmodeus was. And what is that? It probably is the church, okay? It might be the FBI and all that shit, okay? And it may be it's something else. It's these things like this in this day and age. That's what it would be, to sow seeds of doubt and deception. Something about cloud seeding. It's making me think about the Lover's card in that hill, in the cloud, in that angel. Also the devil card, all right, with that box, the devil, and then the fire, or that star that's on the devil's, I think it's sometimes on his chest or on his forehead. That's the deceptive star, possibly. That's the one that's on his dome, right? Or giving them head, right? A headmaster. But who is the head of the estate? The heiress. The American heiress. That's the one that came to just really end it all. If you have to, I mean, because somebody could have did it right. But at the end of the day, it can't all be ended. And they wonder how with this one, but that's just what you think. I just feel like it's something going on here, y'all. And again, people are trying to run from some form of judgment here. We're lifting up the skirt of America to see what's been hiding underneath it. Take care.